Trying to find his way at the national dialogue is Prime Minister Ahmed Oubah, the ruling party candidate. He was one of the few presidential hopefuls attending talks organized by President Macky Sall to set a new election date. He says he's very confident for an outcome. Following weeks of political instability and sometimes violent protests sparked by Sall's decision to cancel last Sunday's presidential election, politicians, civil society and religious leaders met for 2 days of talks. The result is a suggested date for the rescheduled election, June the 2nd.
It's much more than an election date. It's a moment of communion for the nation and the Senegalese people to choose a leader for our country. We need to put our egos aside and put the interest of the nation first.
15 of the 18 presidential candidates refused to join the talks. Instead, they appealed to the Constitutional Council to set the new election date.
For many people in this room, a date to the presidential election will not end the crisis, but it will be the beginning of a process to rebuild trust in the democratic institutions of the country.
During talks, Sall announced proposed legislation for a general amnesty for what he describes as acts relating to political demonstrations since 2021. Thousands of imprisoned people, including opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, could be released. But for presidential hopeful Bougane Dany, the proposed amnesty is a ploy to protect members of Sall's security forces suspected of crimes. At least 40 people have died in political protest in the past 3 years.
Why the need for reconciliation? There was no war, only demonstrations where people died. These murders need to be investigated. Those involved should be judged and then imprisoned.
Sall's final years in office appear to have brought instability to a normally stable nation. Participants in the national dialogue hope the 2nd of June will bring national unity, an election date chosen not by the president, but through consensus, in a country where politicians appear divided. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.